Hello everyone. Today our topic is congestion pricing in New York City, the application of Pigovian taxes in traffic management. Firstly, let me walk you through the structure of our presentation. Okay, but before we dive into details, let me share you a quick joke. Do you remember when NUS was so crowded with visitors that campus and canteens were packed into brim? So our school decided to ban outsiders during the start of the semester and Chinese New Year. But what about New York? Manhattan is an open city center, unlike a school that can easily restrict access. So how can the New York government tackle this tricky problem? Now, let's go back to the topic. First, let's look at the background. New York City's traffic congestion has been a persistent issue since the 1950s, driven by the rapid urbanization and increasing vehicle ownership. In 2023, New York City's bridges and tunnels handled a record of over 300 million vehicles. On January 5th, 2025, New York became the first city in the United States to implement congestion pricing, charging $9 each for vehicles entering Manhattan. But what caused this congestion? This is because of an imbalance in high demand and limited capacity, as well as several economic and social factors. But what are the impacts? First one, economic costs. One study showed that traffic delays in New York cities cost people over 100 hours each, which is equal to about 9 billion US dollars lost. Secondly, environment and health costs. It increased PM 2.5 emissions and chronic noise pollution, which can lead to respiratory disease, high blood pressure, and heart disease in nearby residents. Last one, traffic accidents. On average, one York citizen was killed or seriously injured in the congestion pricing zone every day in the first 9 months of 2024. And next, welcome Zhang Penduo to talk about the next part.
One of the most common concerns raised by economics and policy critics is equity. The argument goes congestion pricing may disproportionately affect the low-income drivers who may not be able to afford the new fees. However, this criticism can be addressed with thoughtful policy design. First, the revenue generated from congestion pricing doesn't disappear. It can be reinvested. For example, London used its congestion charge revenue to expand and improve public transport, increasing the number of buses and ensuring better service. In addition, governments can introduce target subsidies or travel vouchers for low-income commuters, making public transit both affordable and accessible. So rather than excluding the poor, congestion pricing can actually improve mobility for them if revenues are recycled fairly and transparently. As Perry and Battle noted, with revenue recycling, congestion pricing can become progressive, not regressive. A second concern is about accessibility. Some argue that congestion pricing limits people access to downtown areas. The fear is that people will avoid city center, reducing economic activity or harming businesses. But in practice, this hasn't been the case. Let's take the London again. After the congestion charge was introduced in 2003, traffic volumes fell, but access actually improved. More people started using buses, cycling, or walking. The city center became less congested and more pedestrian friendly. For businesses, this often meant more foot traffic, not less. So the key point is it simply encouraged people to choose smarter travel options or travel at different times. In the long run, it can make the city more accessible, not less, especially for those without cares. While some concerns about equity and access exist, most economists support congestion pricing as an effective tool for addressing urban traffic congestion. Fundamental, as Lindsay and Verhoeven put it, congestion pricing is the most direct and effective policy available to combat congestion, provided the revenue is used wisely and the policy is communicated clearly, because it solves the problem of negative externality by internalizing them.
Let's move on to part 3, problem solving. First, let's look at the flexibility of congestion pricing. This system works by charging drivers during peak hours, which discourage car use and encourages people to switch to public transport. We've seen it succeed in other cities. For example, London reduced traffic congestion by 30% in the first year. Singapore is also a great model. It has one of the most efficient traffic systems in the world. As for New York, it's planning to launch the system in 2024, and it will be the first of its kind in the US. Next, in terms of externalities, congestion pricing helps reduce negative externalities like traffic jams, air pollution, and time wasted on the road. It also creates positive externalities such as cleaner air, better public health, and funding of MTA improvements, which benefits everyone. Now, let's move on to the cost benefit analysis. The benefits are clear, like faster travel times, less air pollution, and around 1 billion in annual revenue, and more investment in public transit, which helps in the long run. However, there are also costs, like high setup and tech costs and equity concern. Um, because low income drivers may be more affected. Also, traffic could shift to nearby neighborhoods. Finally, while congestion pricing is effective, supporting strategies make it stronger. We can enhance public transport, promote carpooling with HOV lanes, and encourage flexible work hours to ease peak hour pressure. So, combining pricing with these policies will give the best outcome in managing urban congestion.
I will further analyze the forecasting policy effects and possible obstacles. As for the short-term effect, according to these official statistics, we can see that the tower effectively reduce unnecessary car trips, which encouraged the use of public transport and improve overall traffic efficiency. As for the long-term effects, the total revenue, about 500 million a year, can help upgrade subway and buses, making public transport more appealing. That means fewer people driving, which can help reduce traffic even more. It also boosts the economy by cutting down travel time and improving delivery efficiency. On top of that, fewer means cleaner air, and over time, people may change their habits, like carpool more, back, or work from home, which reshapes how the city moves. Now, let's talk about the obstacle. Despite the benefits, there's still challenges ahead. Politically, the policy may face pushback from key leaders or shifting government priority, which can make it unstable. Economically, business might struggle with higher transport costs and delivery delays, and socially, low-income commuter may feel the burden the most. To address this, we need strong political cooperation and clear stakeholder communication. Reinvesting tower revenue into improving public transit can make the system more fair and accessible. Plus, public education, a graduate rollout and smart tech solution like academic Dynamic pricing can ease the transition and reduce resistance. This is our reference, so this is all for our presentation. Thank you.